Hey, what's up, folks? 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 Why can't I hear myself? This is weird. Oh, that's why. Yeah, what's up, folks? All right, so folks, today we're gonna have a short live today, but we want to let y'all know that it's a lot of stuff going on. For everybody that voted for Trump, you're getting everything that you wanted, and I'm glad I voted for him because he's doing what he's supposed to do. And if you have not known, we're about to inform you about all this bullshit that's happening in Minnesota right now, specifically Minneapolis. So there's been fraudulent activity going on in the Somali community. And I'm sorry, but a couple of bad actors has just ruined y'all's chances of the American dream. That's just how it is. All righty. So without further ado, we're going to get to this Black Conservative Perspective. Did a nice little thing about this. So let's go. This here is the chief of police of Minneapolis speaking about basically saying that they're not going to cooperate with ICE and the federal government when it comes to immigration. Here we go.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian O'Hara, BRIAN O''HARA. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. I know the recent reports that are circulating among the media are concerning. I just want to be clear. We are not confirming anything that has been in any of these reports, and we don't have any official information ourselves. What we are aware of is what has been happening in our community. And our involvement, the mayor's leadership on that, council members and other elected officials in the city did not start today. That's been going on. The fear that the community has been experiencing, immigrant communities have been experiencing in this city is real. I have been meeting with pastors, imams, business owners, that are having a real impact in our city. People are afraid to go to church. They're afraid to go to worship. They're not spending money at a lot of our immigrant businesses in the city. And from a public safety perspective, the fear of people to cause the police is something that to call the police in a time of need is something that harms everyone. So I just need to be clear. As our mayor has stated, the Minneapolis Police Department does not work with federal law enforcement for the purpose of conducting immigration enforcement. We don't provide.
Now watch this hypocrisy that he's about to say.
Provide information to federal immigration authorities. We don't ask people about their immigration status. Our mission is clear: to protect life, to uphold the law, and to maintain safety.
Boy.
Uphold the law, huh? Do you know it's against the law for you not to cooperate with ICE as a police department? But hey, what do I know?
Boy. So once again, we got to talk about the most viral story right now that is becoming the #1 story in the national news media. Something that Democrats definitely do not like. This is like a nightmare situation for Democrats because it exposes the realities of Democrat governance, which is the story involving the Somali migrants in Minneapolis. Okay, they've essentially taken over that city, and they have been implicated in a multi-billion-dollar fraud scheme where we have welfare money up in the hands of al-Shabaab terrorists in Somalia.
All right, to be a little bit more detailed on that, there is a state senator by the name of Omar Fateh, and you can look this up. This has been verified. Omar Fateh's wife owns an LLC that basically helps people to find homes, also funds for you just living expenses and whatnot. And they basically been taking taxpayer money and funneling into that LLC, and they've been funneling it straight into the Somali community. And these guys are outbreeding Minnesotans and basically taking over. I mean, Minneapolis is pretty much little Mogadishu at this point.
Minnesota is in the crosshairs of the White House. The Trump administration is launching an investigation into fraud after the Treasury Secretary claims state funds is being sent to terrorists overseas. Our Bill Keller is looking into those claims. He joins us now live from the state capitol with the latest information. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. President Trump continues to ratchet up his attacks on Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Our state now the target of a federal probe into claims that tax dollars stolen through welfare fraud have been used to support this group in Somalia. In a post
That's
on
a damn shame.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he announced the investigation Monday, saying that hardworking Minnesota tax dollars may have been diverted to the terrorist organization Al-Shabaab.
So if y'all don't understand, when he says may have been diverted, what happened is that if you don't notice, I believe it's either somewhere in the 20% range, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. There's a high percentage of Somalia's GDP is related to remittances. If you don't know what remittance is, that means when you have citizens of your country that are out of your country and they're sending money to your country. So they're sending money to Somalia, and Al-Shabaab is skimming off the top, people.
The post goes on to say, we are acting
Shaba.
here. Americans' taxes are not funding acts of global terror, adding, we will share our findings as our investigation continues. Well, this morning, Governor Tim Walz firing back, saying that he...
And notice, folks, this is coming from Democratic ran cities, Democratic ran states. The Democratic Party is not for America. Don't let them fool you. They're for themselves, and they are for money. They spend a lot of money so they can dip their hands in that money, allegedly, and fatten their pockets. How do you do that? Welfare. You get the government to spend all this money on welfare, and then you get kickbacks from stuff like Affordable Care Act, insurance companies, because they pay the insurance companies kick back to the Democratic senators and anybody else. There may be some rhinos in there too. All this stuff is just fraudulent.
He welcomes an investigation, calling the president's threats politically motivated.
Of course he would.
My message is simple on this. You commit fraud in Minnesota, you're going to prison. I don't care what color you are, what religion you are. Anybody who wants to help us in that, we welcome that. But setting on the sidelines and throwing out accusations, and let's be very clear, demonizing an entire population and lying to people about the safety and security of this state is beneath that.
First of all, Trump ain't lying about the safety and security of the state. And as far as demonizing a whole population, they did it to themselves. There have been several fraudulent cases of Somalis taking money and putting it in pockets or sending it over there. There's been several cases. So you can say all you want about demonizing a population. It's not demonizing a population. They're doing that themselves.
And the reason why this is a nightmare scenario for Democrats is because, like I said, this exposes what Democrat governance is like and how they allow waste, fraud, and abuse. They abuse the system for their own personal gain.
Just
that
like
is
I
what
said.
they do. Okay, that's exactly what they do. And I think stories like this are a great example. So President Trump is fed up, absolutely fed up with the waste, fraud, and abuse. And he went nuclear. I mean, I'm trying to tell you. I mean, he certainly did not hold back, okay, in this meeting that he had with his cabinet secretaries when asked about the
I heard the cabinet meeting this morning was pure entertainment. I have not watched it yet, but I heard it's pure entertainment.
Somali situation in Minneapolis and Tim Walz. Let's just say President Trump did not have nice things to say. In the mainstream liberal media, they're going to be melting down about what the president said for days, right? They're going to be melting down about this for a long time. Take a look.
Look into Minnesota and their fraud on visas and their programs. 50% of them are fraudulent, which means that wacko Governor Walz either is an idiot or he did it on purpose. And I think he's both, sir.
You hear that Midwest accent? She says, I think he's both. He's both. That's the pretty-eyed National Secretary of Homeland Security talking. Can you hear me, man? You say hello. What's up? What's up, Max? Max.
People in there illegally that never should have been in this country said they were somebody that they're not. They said they were married to somebody who was their brother or somebody else. Fraudulent visa applications, signed up for government programs, took hundreds of billions of dollars from the taxpayers and we're going to remove them and we're going to get our money back. And we're going to, this next year, make sure that we only put people in leadership positions in this country that love this country.
And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country is no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries too. I can say it about other countries too. We don't want them the hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing.
And I can validate what he's saying because we showed the day before yesterday, we showed videos of Somalis having speeches in public talking about Ilhan Omar is not for America, she's for Somalia. She's Somalia first. And they are with her. And I'm sorry, but until these people want to act right, all of them got to go. All of them got to go.
So I was watching something with have you ever heard of Vince Ellis Ross?
No, I can't say I have.
He's an older brother, man. You should. We have to do a review on some of his shit. But he said something earlier. He was just basically like, yo, the goal is Islam is to, because their countries is messed up. The goal is with Islam is to basically mess America up so much to where the Islam is able to take over.
Right.
And you're starting to see this actually, like, I used to actually think that was a joke because I heard that for years, bro. I heard that for years saying Islam, oh, they're going to take over. Yeah, some of the men that was raised by was Nation of Islam. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so they was like, oh, Islam, it's gonna take over America. It's just gonna be a long, slow burn. It's just gonna be long and slow. I used to be like, yeah, whatever. Then if you look at the birth rates, like Islamic women, they have more kids than anybody.
Mm-hmm. And I heard an Islam guy talking. He was like, Muslims are not going to vote right. If they vote right wing, conservative, it's actually going against the overall motive of Islam to take over this country. If they vote left is going to feed into welfare, do all this spending so they can put their hands in the pocket. They can be fraudulent. They can circumvent money here, and there. And
no, it's basically what it is. It's going to feed into the it's going to feed into the degeneracy. Like example, abortion.
Yep.
Islamic woman would never in her right mind even dream of ever aborting.
They're not allowed if they follow Sharia law, even if they follow just the main normal laws of Islam.
No, well, even if they're let's just say even if they're modern Muslim women are basically women who practice the Muslim faith but live in the modern world, basically. So yes, they're going to have conversations with other men in public. They're going to have conversations with the opposite sex in public. They're not going to they might wear the scarf, but they're not going to wear the scarf all the way to where they're going to have a little bit of their hair showing, a little bit of their neck showing. It's just going to be a little bit.
They're going to have their whole face.
They're going to have the whole face. It's just going to be a little bit. And so
they might not pray 5 times a day.
And so they're going to pray. Yeah, they're going to pray. All right. They just living in the modern world, right? But they will never ever dream of ever have an abortion because because they're more conservatives than honestly they're more conservative than most people, and so a lot of her home, like say a lot of the females home culture, home traditions is still going to stay with her, but she's never going to go all the she's remember Tropic Thunder, you never go full artard.
You never know, you never go full auto, man. You never go full
Yeah.
auto.
Yeah, and so that's basically they will never go anything full. They will never it ain't gonna be they're not gonna it ain't gonna be nope,
Chameleons,
they ain't gonna
basically.
do that.
Chameleons, they're chameleons.
Well, here's the thing. They ain't even chameleons. They're not even chameleons, bro.
Yeah.
They just basically they're gonna do some things modern, like they probably won't drink still. They still probably won't drink. If they do anything comes to that, it's probably a little bit.
They're not as modern as Mia Khalifa, are they?
It's probably like a little hush. Mia Khalifa is not Islam. She's not Islamic. She just from.
Or
She's
she just
not even.
cosplays. Because I've seen her in her job before. She just cosplays as being.
Yeah, she's not. She's not. She was basically if I remember correctly, a refugee from Yemen. Her parents were.
Mm-hmm.
So she's an American, and so she's not really. Yeah, like Yemenese. She's just a bitch who's Yemenese, but from America. And so there's a lot of shit that, damn, it's crazy. Trump ain't gonna be president. I can't believe it hasn't even been a year yet.
Nope.
This nigga just been it's gonna be a shame when this nigga's gone. But one thing I'm gonna say about this, regardless of where you fall on the aisle or where you are on the spectrum of politics, one thing I will say that I give Trump credit with his due, he has opened my eyes to a lot of shit that I did not realize. Like he has opened up to a lot of. You realize our debt is 100. Like the interest of our federal debt is 120%.
Good Lord.
It's 120%. That is damn near economic collapse, bruh.
It is.
That is a. I need to buy some Bitcoin. That's all I can say, bro. I need to buy some Bitcoin, bro, because these motherfuckers gonna allow this shit to burn. They're gonna burn this bitch down, and they're gonna be happy when it happens too. They're gonna burn this motherfucker down, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
And then they're gonna hide their hands. They're gonna hide their hands.
Yeah.
But let's keep going.
Came from paradise, and they said this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
They about to call this man a racist, bro. You better go back where you could go back to Africa line.
He sure did. At this point, man, I'm pretty sure, man, that they basically are just like, look, we don't give a damn. I'm gonna say what the hell I want to say, because regardless of what I say, y'all gonna find fault in it anyway. If you haven't noticed, folks, anytime Trump does anything because of Trump derangement syndrome, it doesn't matter if it's good for the country or for all of us, or if it's just good for the right, that the Democrats would say, they're still going to find fault in it. So at this point, I don't think he gives a fuck anymore. I'm getting everything I voted for, so it don't even fucking matter. It really don't.
Man, I already got what I voted for. This nigga's just giving me extra, like This is like a video game, bro. That
It is.
like I haven't even gone on the main quests yet. It's just been nothing but side quest missions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over here already at
right. Can't get back on track because there's too much shit going on.
I'm already at level 100, and this nigga, he already did everything I asked him to do, and like I'm like, what more do you want? What more you gonna do, nigga? Like
exactly. What more are you gonna do?
What more you want from me?
What more do you want from me? What you gonna do? Somalis, what you gonna do? And what's crazy is they sit there and say, well, you can't demonize a whole population. Governor Walsh doesn't understand what's going on in his state. I'm gonna tell you like this. If you think these folks don't have weekly or monthly meetings to discuss this shit down to the damn kids, they meet in mosques. I'm gonna tell you something. If Christians operated like Muslims, bro, these jokers wouldn't even be in this country. If they was as organized and as strategic as these Muslims were, man, them jokers wouldn't even be in this country.
Well, what you meant to say is, wow, look how generous. Look how generous Christians are.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
This is what they're gonna say. Well, immigrants built this country. No, the fuck it wasn't. It was goddamn Americans and slaves.
Mm-hmm. Well, no immigrants built this country.
Because if they were immigrants, why the fuck they ain't go back? No, they just Italian Americans, bitch. Was no goddamn foreigners. Japanese Americans, bitch. Chinese Americans,
bitch. West
Nigga
Indian
Americans.
Nigga Americans, whatever you want to call them.
They ain't go back, nigga. They ain't go. What we think? A bunch of black folks went back to Africa.
The thing is this: the fact that they stripped us of our identity, they stripped us of our religion, they stripped us of our creed, our culture, our God.
Nigga, fuck that bullshit. Here's the bullshit. Why the fuck did these niggas didn't go back to Africa?
That's what I'm saying though. If black folk don't wise up, we ain't got nowhere to go to. You better defend this motherfucker you stand in. Now, I've done my research, but I don't got no family in Sierra Leone. I don't got no family in Gabon that I know. You got to defend the motherfucker where you're living at.
Nigga, these bitches gonna love me as long as this money right, nigga. Once this money ain't right with me, and them hoes out.
Exactly.
they gonna be like, ain't nothing cut a broke nigga off. I'm like, what? It's like that.
It ain't nothing to cut the broke off.
And then no money, no honey. You're like, yeah. Oh man.
So you see that you certainly heard that. Okay. Hey, you know, the president's pissed. And I don't blame him, to be honest with you. I mean, again, you're talking about billions of dollars in welfare, tax dollars, coming from this community, going overseas to support terrorism, right? And this happened under Democrats, right? This happened because of Democrat oversight or a lack of oversight from Democrats, okay, for their own personal benefit. So, you know, I get why the president's upset. Okay, I understand why he's upset. Liberal media, they're gonna be boo-hoo whining crying about this one for a long time. Okay, there are gonna be a lot of tears in the mainstream liberal media over what the president said. In fact, the tears are already flowing because Minneapolis had an emergency press conference. I believe St. Paul was also a part of it as well too, over the news that DHS is surging more agents to the area in order to deal with the immigration situation in the Minneapolis area. And these people are, you know, doing exactly what you would expect, right? They're boo-hoo, whine, and cry, racism, hate, and bigotry. Take a look.
This video.
Son of a bitch. I got to pay for this damn, get these ads, though, man. I really do. I apologize, folks. This will not happen too much often. Pretty soon, I'm going to get the fuck on from this ad shit.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Fry. I'm the mayor of Minneapolis, and we are here.
Oh, now you want to speak in English, nigga. Now you want to speak in English. If y'all looked at us on Monday night, or was it Monday night? No, Sunday night. This nigga was speaking in freaking Somali. addressed his city. Now he wants to speak in English. You pandering ass.
To respond to a number of credible reports from several media outlets relaying that there are as many as 100 federal agents that will be deployed to the Twin Cities with a specific focus on targeting our Somali community.
Damn right, because there's over 80,000 of them motherfuckers in your city. And I guarantee you, not all them motherfuckers is legal. If Ilhan Omar could marry her brother and bring him in the country fucking illegally, you don't think all these other motherfuckers did the shit?
To our Somali community, we love you and we stand with you. That commitment is rock solid. Minneapolis is proud to be home to the largest Somali community in the entire country. They've been here for...
Y'all don't think something wrong with that? Why is it everybody choosing Minneapolis to go to when it comes to the Somali community? Huh? Then you got state senator, Somali. Then you got police officer, Somali. You got a congresswoman, Somali. That don't look weird to y'all?
For decades, in many instances. They're entrepreneurs.
There's nothing weird. That's my uncle. There's nothing weird that my uncle is coming in here from Bangladesh. Okay?
And that's one of the countries that basically cannot come in that TPS got canceled for is Bangladesh.
Fathers, they benefit.
It's because Trump is racist. That's the reason why I can't come with my family and my 5 kids because Trump is racist. I want to be on food stamps too, like regular American.
Bruh, this shit gonna be so boring when he leave office, bruh. This shit gonna be boring as shit.
And the economic resilience of our city. Targeting Somali people means that due process will be violated. Mistakes will be made.
Y'all realize politics ain't become cool and reportable. Like a lot of folks weren't even looking at politics. I ain't gonna lie to you. I started getting into politics and looking into politics after 9/11. Because I came home from work, went to sleep, got up, and damn 3,000 people just gone.
It was
I'm like,
crazy because I was in middle school when that shit happened.
And then I was at work.
Looking,
Remember, I'm 49.
Old nigga.
I'm old as shit.
Old ass motherfucker.
You fringe millennial ass nigga.
You call me a basic bitch now?
Mm-hmm. You beige basic. Oh, shit.
Fuck.
Woo!
How my hands get so sticky?
You beige basic, fringe millennial. Thank you, black, but you dark beige in the motherfucking ass nigga is a motherfucker, dog. You know that. I'm glad I know you though. I tell you that. See, folks, people of different races can get along. Even though I just called them all kind of names, dark beige nigga.
And let's be clear, it means that American citizens will be detained for no other reason than the fact that they look like they are Somali.
My name is Jamal Osman. I am the council member of Ward 6, someone who represents the largest East African community in Minneapolis. I am proud to say I'm a Somali American. This country welcomed me, my family, 26 years ago. It has.
So he wasn't born here, but he serves on the council. Y'all listen to that now. Wasn't born here, but can you go to the Dominican Republic and become a councilman?
Fuck no.
Is that possible?
No, not the way. It takes years in order to get that shit, any of that privileges, if I remember.
So he looks like
correctly.
he's in his 30s. So if he came here 26 years ago, he probably only been a councilman, what? Maybe about 5-6 years, maybe. What'd you say? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
So you say it takes years over in DR. Can you be a councilman in Poland? Okay, how about Mozambique? Look it up for yourselves. Bolivia? Nepal? Huh? Can you be a councilman over there? What about Luxembourg? Luxembourg? Can you be a councilman? How about Estonia? Maybe Estonia. Montenegro. Go to Montenegro and become a councilman. Go to Greece.
Grease like
Right, go to
that.
Turkey. Go to Turkey. No, go to Burma. Go to Laos. Go to Singapore. Go over there. Go to Taiwan. Go over there. Go over there and become a council person, huh? In less than damn 5 years. Go ahead.
Provide me a life that I did not have in Somalia. We came here and we are thankful to be here. I've been educated here, got the opportunity to serve my community, to be a council member. I know many families are
And sending money over to Somalia.
fearful tonight. They are. But I want you to know that City of Minneapolis stand behind you as the leaders, both mayors and the chief.
I'm going to say this. You don't get this shit in the Latino community. Why? Possibly because they are mostly Christian, Catholic, or Protestant. They move to a Christian country like America. And you don't hear them saying, until this shit happened with ICE and shit, you ain't see motherfuckers swinging their flags everywhere and shit. Only doing like pride situations. Like they have like a pride picnic. Like here in Atlanta, they have like the International Day weekend. And like everybody that's West Indian, African, whatever, goes to like Piedmont Park and all. They have all these parties all over the country, city. But you'll never see that shit regular all the time. You don't. These motherfuckers be waving their Somali flag all the fucking time. They got damn flea markets, all kinds of shit in Minneapolis. Look that shit up. They're not assimilating. Muslims don't assimilate when they go to a country. They take over. Look at London. Look at what's happening in London right now. London is a fucking mess. Do you know they have instituted Sharia law at some of these different elementary schools in London? So basically you can't serve no pork and you got to serve halal meat. Y'all look at what halal meat is. You know what halal meat is? Huh? You know what halal meat is, Matt?
Of course I do.
Halal meat is meat that is sacrificed to Allah. And it goes through a certain process a different way than regular meat does. One being the spiritual shit about it being sacrificed to Allah. They got kids in fucking London that's all they sell, that's all they serve in those elementary schools is halal meat. Got your Christian kids eating sacrificed meat. Hey, y'all can be hey, this ain't no game nowadays. This ain't no game. And I'm sorry if you feeling if I'm sounding like I'm being a religious zealot or I'm being discriminatory. No, it ain't that. America is a Christian nation. It was founded by Protestants, Puritans, evangelists. Excuse me, not evangelists, evangelicals. That's the founders were so. They wrote it in the fucking publications that are the backbone of our country: Constitution, Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. It says the Creator. God can't be Hinduism. Hinduism got a whole lot of gods. So you know it ain't Hindu. Can't be pagan. They got many gods. Can't be Buddhist. It said the Creator. And they actually say God in the document. So it ain't Allah. Christian country. Christian founded. They're not coming over here to assimilate. They're coming over here to take over.
And everyone that's standing behind you are here to stand with you. Our community has lived through fear in the past. And we're not going to let us divide that. That's right. We're going to stay informed, we're going to stay safe, and we're going to support each other. Now I would like to switch.
What fear are you talking about?
And none of that stops a motherfucker coming into the city and arresting an undocumented immigrant, goddammit.
What fear are they talking about? What fear are they talking about?
I guess the fear that they were subject to in their own country.
No, he said something about they being attacked.
Let's see what he said. Let's go back.
So is it
life that I did not have in Somalia. We came here and we are thankful to be here. I've been educated here, got the opportunity to serve my community, to be a council member. I know many families are fearful tonight. They are. But I want you to know that City of Minneapolis stand behind you as the leaders, both mayors and the chief and everyone that stand behind you are here to stand with you. Our community has lived through fear in the past. And we're not going to let us divide that. We're going to stay informed.
Okay,
We're going to
what
stay
fear
safe.
did he
and we're gonna
live in
support
the
each other.
past?
Now I would like to switch.
I don't know what fear he talking about.
I
Ain't
want to
gotta
know
be
what
nothing
fears he talking
American.
about because
Ain't be
it
nothing
sounds like you
American.
just was it fear in Somalia, nigga?
Had to be what past they got here in America. From the
Because
recent past. And motherfuckers really ain't been knowing about how many Somalis in damn Minneapolis. So it can't
because
be
if
shit
they're in
that's over
fear,
here.
if they're feeling in fear, I'm like, whoa, why are you feeling fear in your democratic city? Can you please explain that to me, please?
Exactly.
Can you explain in your democratic
Democratic
Sugarfoot Wall
run
city?
Democratic ran state. Because state has
Why
authority. Or
why are you
authority
being
over the local.
terrorized in Sugarfoot Walls?
Sugarfoot Walls, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Sugarfoot Walls state.
Yeah.
Not Sugarfoot Walls. You didn't call them Sugarfoot, did you?
Yeah.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Not Sugarfoot. Boy, that's suspect. Pause.
Into Somali to speak to my community. Assalamu alaikum. Walaalayaal waxaan la hadlayaa community-ga magaalada Minneapolis. Anigoo ah Jamaal Cusmaan. Waxaan inii sheegayaa City Minneapolis garabkiina ay taagan tahay. Community-geena target ayaa lagu yahay. Qolyahan dalka soo galaya oo la sheegay hadda in 100 qof ka badan lagu soo wado.
You don't know what the fuck they saying. They could be saying any damn thing. Now, there's people that understand that there, but they could be saying any damn thing.
Waa inaad la hadashaa lawyer-kaaga. Waa inaad ogaataa rights-kaaga. United States rights ayaa ku leedahay. Waa inaanan division aanna la ku suubinin. Xaquuq baa u leedahay. Due process baa jira dalkan aan joogno. Marka taxadara. City Minneapolisna waa in la taaganta garabkiina in taaganta. Thank you so much.
A U.S. official says that ICE is planning a surge of agents to the Twin Cities.
And sources tell the Associated Press Somali immigrants are the target of the operation.
Damn right.
Twin
Go
Cities
get
leaders
their ass.
addressed this reported operation this afternoon, and our Connor White was there. Connor?
Right. The AP reports that enforcement operation will focus on Somali immigrants living unlawfully here. The expectation is that starts this week. Today, those Twin Cities leaders offered a show of support for the Somali community, and the mayor of Minneapolis says he believes ICE will break the law and sweep up American citizens.
Targeting Somali people means that due process will be violated. Mistakes will be made. And let's be clear, it means that American citizens will be detained for no other reason than the fact that they look like they are Somali.
Mayor Jacob Fry says an overwhelming majority of Somali people in Minnesota have a legal right to be here. Minnesota is home to about 80,000 Somali people, more than any other state in the nation. And CARE estimates about 95% of them are U.S. citizens. St. Paul's Mayor Melvin Carter calls the president's recent rhetoric racist.
Well, if 95% of them, if 95% of them
and incapable of being a president.
If 95% of them are citizens, why the fuck they scared? That's what I want to know. If you got paperwork, if you're naturalized, why the fuck are you scared? That's not a valid question, man.
Of course not. You ain't supposed
I can hear Democrats now talking about because they're just gonna be picked. Well, regardless, if they pick you up, if you got papers, they gotta let you go, right?
You ain't supposed to ask that, you effing racist.
They gotta let you go, right? Like if they did that shit right now, I got a passport, I got an ID. I'm a big black man. I'm Afro-Latino, but I'm a big black man. They might say, well, we checking for Jamaican, immigrants. They might pick me up. I got locks. Pick me up, bitch. I got my passport and if I hear this shit going down, guess what? Every time I go out in public, guess what I'm gonna have? My passport and my fucking ID on me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to, I have my social security card in the car, bitch.
You want to hear something funny? So
common sense, bitch.
I got pulled over by DOT not too long ago, and the reason why is because it wasn't that I did anything illegal. It was the fact that, and it was just how it was just weird what happened while he pulled me over. It was the fact that I was light-skinned, and he thought I was a legal truck driver and everything. And I gave him all my paperwork. 5 minutes left, we was good. Nothing happened.
You wasn't belligerent, was you?
Literally, I didn't say nothing. I wasn't mad or nothing. None of that shit at all.
Yeah, I know. I kind of think I know why you mad, because you've been a victim of being around motherfuckers that.
No, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at all.
No, I'm just saying. I said I've heard you talk about instances where there have been illegal drivers in your industry that have caused a lot of fucking problems.
Yes, sir.
So I know you wouldn't be mad to have to show your ID. Shit, I'm gonna show mine too. Fuck it. Y'all better be. Hey, if it wasn't for the bullshit that the Democrats have put us in, I'm not just talking about Joe Biden. I'm talking about for the last 16 years, 12 years of Democratic rule in this country have fucked this country up. Literally have fucked it up to the point you got grown people out here that actually cannot give you the definition of a fucking woman. Ain't that some bullshit? All you got to say is a woman can have babies. They still want to come. No, I'm a woman. I look like nothing. You see what the fuck's been going on, folks? And the fat cats have been getting richer, and you got people that have gotten rich ethically all over America. But you got the non-ethical motherfuckers like Nancy Pelosi. And it's not just on the left, it's on the right too. Resting wherever the hell you at, Dick Cheney, Halliburton, all that shit happened with Iraq. It's happened on both sides. But haven't you seen, folks, we have to get some order in this motherfucker. And one thing you don't do is allow motherfuckers that are not supposed to be here and not go through the process properly. It's called trespassing. You can say all you want about entering the country illegally is a civil offense and not a fucking criminal offense. I don't give a fuck. It's still broken law.
Hold on. What is trespassing? If I trespass on somebody's property, is that a criminal? Offense. So how is that them trespassing on our borders not a criminal offense? I mean, not criminal. You see how stupid that shit sounds?
It's stupid as shit, but it's actually, they say it's a civil fucking violation and not a criminal violation.
No. A civil violation is what you would call violating your tourist visa. That's a civil offense.
I don't agree with it, but that's what I read, nigga. When I read that shit, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I wonder if this shit was changed. Anyway, let's keep going with the fucking video.
President for the people of the United States, because he just said out loud that he despises Americans.
Now, officials say they are looking into reporting from the New York Times indicating more than 100 federal officers are about to flood the Twin Cities metro for those quote-unquote targeted strikes. Immigrant rights activists say they're already seeing the impact in parts of Minneapolis.
Them motherfuckers is boarding up houses and everything. Them niggas is trying to, they about to go in hiding like a motherfucker. They about to go in hiding like a motherfucker. But but you're gonna have a couple of dumbasses that's gonna try to be rebellious. Oh, they ain't gonna pick me up. Shit. They hoping y'all do that shit. I'm hoping y'all do. Hey, please be on the news. Please. I want to see this shit. Fuck that. I want to see this shit. Clean this country up. Fuck it. And I'm not saying people from Somalia are bad people, but I'm saying there's a lot of motherfuckers from Somalia in fucking Minnesota that have done some bad things. And I'm not saying that out of a guess. Look at the fraudulent fucking convictions that didn't happen and people been sent to jail over there. Look at that. Shh. They said they had a damn LLC that the address was a mailbox and that was supposed to be the physical fucking address of the business. Shit was a shadow business. And getting that bread, dog. Government goddamn help, bro. I'm talking that shit crazy, man. They have, yeah, you got to go, man.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry, dude. You trying to hop on tomorrow or nah?
It depends on how much I get done with my studying and shit, dog. But I gotta be at work Thursday, so tomorrow will be the last day for at least a couple days.
All
right, man. Peace out, folks. I'm gonna finish this up and then we're gonna go. Let's go.
All right, well, peace
Reality
out,
check
y'all.
here. Democrats boohoo, whining, crying, racism, hate, and bigotry over what President Trump said. They don't have anybody to blame but themselves because the president would not have said what he said unless Democrats allowed the fraud. You should not have allowed the fraud, right? If you did not want the president cracking down on fraud, you should not have allowed it in the first place, okay? It's the same concept when it comes to illegal immigration or immigration in general. You should not have allowed tens of millions of illegals in the country over the past 4 years if you didn't want the president to have to execute on these mass deportations. We have to clean up what Democrats messed up, right? Democrats are allowed to mess up, and then for whatever reason, people think that we shouldn't be allowed to clean it up. Democrats allow anybody and everybody in this country over the last 4 years. That was extreme. They were extreme in allowing people into the country who should not have been into the country. Now, we have to take extreme measures in order to get them out, fighting tooth and nail against Democrats who are obstructing, and people are crying about that. Oh, you're going too far. Well, we're going too far because Democrats went too far by letting so many people into the country in the first place. So yeah, when you mess things up to the extreme, you have to take extreme measures in order to fix it. It is what it is. These liberal cities, these sanctuary cities, should work with the Trump administration like they did with Obama in order to facilitate the mass deportations. And then you wouldn't have to see so many extreme things that we're seeing from ICE because we would have to work so hard to deport the illegals if we had cooperation. So I want you to understand the world that Democrats want us to live in. They want us to live in a world where they can just allow as many people into the country as they want, right? When voters say, hey, you know what, we got to fix this, we got to clean this up, they boohoo, whine, and cry about taking the measures that are necessary to clean up what Democrats messed up, and then they obstruct along the way.
So I wanted to show y'all this real quick. And y'all say, well, where's your proof that Somalis are doing some crazy shit in Minnesota? Okay, well, how about this? This is, I don't know exactly when this happened, but this was reported on 8 days ago by NewsNation. Here we go.
After I did this, it became impossible not
Damn
to
it!
get at least.
I hate when it does that. Here we go.
Unfortunate among us, including the latest federally funded autism services. The autism fraud scheme reportedly amassed $14 million through Medicare claims for services that were never provided, involving kids who never had autism. And the Somali immigrants behind this web of schemes have allegedly stolen billions from taxpayers, much of the money going back to the Somali government, where it would then end up in the hands of terrorists. Manhattan Institute investigative reporter Ryan Thorpe was one of the first exposing the schemes for their ties to terrorism. With us now, Ryan, a line from your story stuck out. The largest funder of al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer. And you cite an unnamed source for that. What is the evidence that all of this money that was taken and the billions upon billions of increased funding in Minnesota for social services ended up in Somalia?
Well, billions of dollars of government welfare money is missing in the state of Minnesota.
How do we define missing?
Well, the fraud is so bad that the U.S. Attorney's Office has come out and indicated that they believe their entire government programs, where the fraudulent claims outstrip the legitimate ones. There are cases where indictments have come down or guilty pleas are already in to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars that were fraudulently obtained, filing false claims alongside doctored paperwork. And the indictments are continuing to come. And the U.S. Attorney's Office has made very clear that this is a network of fraud schemes stacked upon fraud schemes, and that while the true dollar figure in terms of stolen funds at this point isn't quite clear, it's safe to say that we're talking about billions of dollars.
Okay. It's pretty wild.
Billions of dollars. Billions of dollars of fraudulently acquired money siphoned to Somalia, and al-Shabaab is getting their hands on it in a democratic city, in a democratic state.
Some of the things that you lay out, including one group called Feeding the Future, that went from getting $3.4 million in 2019 to $200 million 2 years later. They grew faster than NVIDIA. How did nobody see that? Or is it that people and the government and those who are supposed to be the watchdogs, like Tim Walz, like Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, there just weren't looking?
I think it's safe to say that there was a real unwillingness or inability among Democratic state officials in Minnesota to recognize some pretty obvious alarm bells here. All across these programs, claims were skyrocketing, absolutely spiraling out of control over a short period of time. And the reality is that the Somali community, which is where these large-scale fraud rings have been concentrated within this population in the state, it is a sizable voting bloc. It is a voting bloc you have to win if you're going to win political office in Minneapolis. And so I think that was likely an incentive here that made some people not want to look too closely at what's been going on.
Wow. And that would explain why now it's the U.S. attorney looking into it rather than the state law enforcement or state fraud investigators. Is there any indication, Ryan, as you get, and obviously, it's one of those things you drop an investigative piece, and then all of a sudden you get 1,000 more tips that this goes higher, like actually into state government? You get the last 30 seconds.
I can't confirm that. So I don't want to get out in front of my skis here. What I can say is that this story has generated additional tips, and it is something that we are continuing to look into as we push forward with our efforts to expose the fraud rings that have been taking advantage of the generosity of Minnesota taxpayers.
Yeah.
You heard it right there, folks. Taking advantage of by taxpayers. The taxpayers are getting taken advantage of, and it's causing a lot of issues in the Minneapolis community. So let's go to this last video. Basically, is talking also about some immigration stuff. So it says Twin Cities immigration operation uncovers sham marriages and fake death certificates.
Start the press conference for Operation Twin Shield. I'll turn it over to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Director Joseph Etlow.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Joseph Etlow. I'm the Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. I'm incredibly pleased to be here today to announce the successful conclusion to Operation Twin Shield, an enforcement effort of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services with absolutely invaluable support from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the FBI, and DEA. I especially want to thank St. Paul Field Office Director Samuel Olson from ICE for being here, as well as Abel Vecino from the FBI for joining us up here today. I also want to thank Jeff Brecht and Mike Kennard from FDNS, as well as Michael Borgen from USCIS. And also want to thank Bill McGinn, our FDNS chief in Kansas City, who was on the ground during the entirety of the operation. Since September 19th, officers from our Fraud Detection and National Security Directorate, working in teams, have conducted over 1,000 site visits across the Minneapolis-St. Paul area as part of this operation. What they found should shock all of America. Focusing on a list of over 1,000 target cases involving more than 900 individuals, our officers encountered blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found, forged documents, abuse of the H-1B visa system, abuse of the F-1 visas, and many other discrepancies.
Do y'all hear this? Over 900 people have been found to abuse this system. And so happens to be in the Somali community. Death certificates, fraudulent marriages. It's just crazy, man.
Over the course of the operation, our officers found indication of fraud, non-compliance, or public safety and national security concerns in nearly a little less than 50% of the cases interviewed. We found troubling patterns with the Uniting for Ukraine program that should have raised serious concerns under other administrations, such as an individual filing to sponsor more than 100 aliens, and organizations sponsoring hundreds. We are continuing to investigate these cases. Some of the other troubling cases that our officers found. In one case, officers identified an alien who had overstayed his visa waiver, who was the son of a known or suspected terrorist on the no-fly list. He had previously been found to have engaged in marriage fraud, which resulted in the denial of several immigration benefit requests. He was arrested and is now presently being returned to his country of origin. In another, an individual admitted to obtaining a fake death certificate in Kenya for just $100 to prove he was no longer married. In reality, his wife is alive, living here in Minneapolis, and is the mother of 5 of his children. And incidentally, he has another wife living
5 kids, folks.
whom he has an
I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you why this is important, folks. 5 kids getting funding, overstage welcome, birth rate in all communities in America of American citizens. I'm talking about Caucasians, Asians, Blacks, Latinos. All of these communities have a lower birth rate. The birth rate is not where it's supposed to be in order to replenish the population. Okay. But you got these Somalis out here, goddamn, having 4 and 5 kids, a family. Their birth rate high as hell. What you think that's gonna lead to? How do you think congressmen are chosen in this country? Population. So you get as many, you got a big population, you got a lot of congressmen. Send them in the House. Senators is 2 a state. But regardless, sooner or later, that population is going to go into where it affects senators as well. I'm telling you, folks, take over our country is going on right up under our nose.
In another case, an alien entered the United States without inspection in 2023, was released by Border Patrol. The alien married a U.S. citizen while in removal proceedings and was interviewed at the Minneapolis-St. Paul USCIS field office just last week, where both he and his American spouse, stated under oath that their marriage was legitimate. The USCIS officers conducting the interview were suspicious. The site visits were authorized the same day. The American spouse ultimately that afternoon admitted the marriage was fraudulent and entered into solely for immigration purposes and withdrew her petition for that alien. This type of same-day action for interview, from interview to site visit, has really never happened before. And I am incredibly impressed and thankful to the diligent work of the agents who made that happen for the first time, but not for the last time. And finally, I wanted to note, in one case, an alien engaged in marriage fraud by taking advantage of an elderly U.S. citizen spouse, including threats and severe neglect. The American spouse was able to divorce the alien with the help of her family and caregivers, but the family still lives in fear of retaliation from the alien over the failed marriage fraud scam. These are not victimless crimes. Every case of fraud we uncover damages our national security, undermines the integrity of our immigration system, and as I just gave you an example, has real consequences.
Yep.
I want the American people to know that we are declaring war on immigration fraud. We will continue to pursue those who seek to abuse our immigration system using every tool at our disposal. This operation, Twin Shield, is just the first phase of what we are looking at. The critical information gathered, the fraud patterns uncovered will help us to combat fraud at the next level. We now begin the process of analyzing, cross-checking, reviewing cases using these results. These investigations will help us determine the next steps in many cases. We will be looking at grants of immigration benefits already given. We will be looking at other patterns, and we will be reopening, re-examining benefits to determine whether rescission, revocation is appropriate in any of these cases. Additionally, I would say right now that if you seek to commit immigration fraud in this country, you will find yourself meeting with our officers at USCIS. You will meet officers within our federal partners at ICE, CBP, FBI, DEA, whoever is working with us. And you will find yourself not only without benefits, but you will find yourself prosecuted. We will continue to tirelessly work with the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Minnesota, as well as in every other jurisdiction, to make sure that these cases are treated as they should be, and that aliens, attorneys, preparers, others who engage in immigration fraud are properly punished. I also want to touch briefly on
Time
the
out for
reception
that
our officers
bullshit.
received in the field. They were harassed, threatened, accused of being scammers, and even had the police called on them. At least one residence was so unsafe that they had to call off the site visit altogether. This is simply unacceptable. And I want to remind the public that our officers are doing a job to protect all Americans. They deserve the respect and cooperation as they go along with those duties. Under President Trump's leadership, we have empowered our immigration officers to thoroughly vet aliens as required by law and to pursue immigration fraud wherever and whenever we encounter it. Secretary Noem has also recently delegated certain law enforcement authorities to me at USC.
See, this is what y'all don't understand about this administration. They're strategic. This happened 2 months ago where they found this fraud was going on. And now you hear about them saying because of this murder that happened with the Afghan immigrant, and then they're like, you know what, all this damn fraud going on in Minneapolis, let's go ahead and take care of this. But they already been thinking about it. They already had an investigation going on. These people don't even understand. They already know where you are and where they can find you at. You might as well get that shit up. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and shut this down for right now, man. I just want to thank y'all for being here. I can't last too much longer either. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now, you know, going up, always looking to improve my life. You have to always be improving every day, just 1%. But folks, we'll holler at you another time. 3-Man Podcast, we out, baby.